I'm so stupid. My microphone has been off this entire time. I just realized I forgot to turn it back up on the mixer. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm so glad I looked down and realized that. That's probably why those three people who hopped on the stream and immediately left were just like, this guy doesn't even realize that his microphone's not on. Oh, that's hilarious. Crap. Well, the good news is there was a lot of talking and nothing was really even said. I crashed. Oh, that's so stupid. Whatever. No one's even watching. It's okay. No wonder people were signing on and then immediately leaving. Well, you live and you learn. That was great. Just, you know, enter the corner at 5,000 miles an hour. There's a hot air balloon there. Oh, there's hot air balloons everywhere. I haven't played this game in a while. I forgot some things. I'm not going to use that as an excuse for how poorly I'm driving, though. I've never been super good at really any video games. I'm good at games. Like don't get me wrong. I'm good at games, but I'm not amazing at any of them. Ah! Just trying to go around the right. Well, since no one caught it at the start of the live stream, when I said it because my stupid microphone was off, I'm not online on my Xbox, so all of the drivatars that you're seeing are just like the pre-rendered ones. They're not actually online. I'm not in a session or a lobby or whatever those are called. You can tell how much I play online. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get out of your way. You're not a real person. You're just a fake driver. I don't know. I'm apologizing. I do feel bad whenever I ram into people. Like then. Good timing. I keep looking up at the, I keep looking up and taking my eyes off the road and slamming into things. Which is only partially due to the fact that I'm looking up. It's also due to the fact that I can't drive. I'm actually a fairly good driver in real life. At least I'd like to. That's what all the bad drivers probably say. That's what all of us tell ourselves. Just like, no, I'm a great driver. How do we get to the city? I forget. I don't really want to use the map and have a waypoint there. I'm just going to try to find my way. Just going to try to pathfind. That's great. Well, I'm guessing I'm taking the shortcut. That reminds, using that frontage road as a shortcut reminds me of, did anyone play the game Pod, Planet of Death? It was an old game, like the early to mid 90s, by Ubisoft. Weird premise, weird game, but that game was one of my childhood games. Played that on our old Gateway with Windows 98. I remember that. That was my first racing game I ever played. It's northeast, the big city. I can't even remember what the city's called. That was awesome. Understeer is one of those things in video games that I just don't know how to deal with it. I've fooled around on county roads enough to know the basics of not drifting, but at the very least, sliding recklessly. Oh, this engine sounds so good. That's another thing I said when the microphone wasn't on. That the 420... Oh, sharks. The 426 Hemi in this game, they put in the Challengers and the Chargers, and I think it also is in the Hemi Cuda. It should be. But that sound file just sounds so good at any RPM. It's just such a brutal, just really awesome vintage iron sound. If you ever had the opportunity to hear one of these things fire up or rip at full song in real life, then you know. Got him. Whew. Did not expect to make that at all. Should probably check in. Am I dropping any frames at all? Doesn't look like it. Which is a miracle and a half. I meant to take that turn. Ah! Where'd he go? He's gone already? He's gone already. He got the heck out of there. He evaded the scene of a... Oh my gosh. Oh, this isn't a road. I just realized that. It's just like a, it's not a listed road on the map. Imagine how bumpy this would act. It wouldn't even be bumpy. You wouldn't even be able to mount the rail, I don't think. Unless the rail is flush with the road. That would actually make a lot more sense. There's someone behind me. Oh, he's clear back there. I could have gone. Whoopsies. And for any of you wondering, yes, I do have damage turned off. Because I have 0 viewers right now on the stream, I'm mostly addressing anyone who's watching the re-upload on my YouTube. That was 100% my fault. Oops. Well, now is as good as time to need to switch cars again. Go back to my favorites. See what I want to use. Is this in the way? No, it's not. Okay, good. Just making sure. Just making sure. Why do I have a C4 Corvette in my favorites? Let's drive it. Why do I have this in my favorites? C4 Corvette, probably the least desirable Corvette. I don't mind them. Come on, sound. There you go. By no means am I saying that they're good cars, but I don't think they're as bad as their reputation says that they are. It's just a product of the times, you know, it was the 90s. The emissions crunch was in full swing, and cars were making crap horsepower across the board. So of course the Corvette's going to be way slower than you think it should be. This is a 6-speed? I thought you only had 5 speeds back in, whatchamacallit, 93. What this is, 93? That 6th gear is so tall. Ooh, the beach. I forgot there's a beach in this game. Wahoo! Ooh, I think I cleared the telephone line. Nailed it. I need an off-roader. I know what I want. I'm very critical of DLC. The first DLC that I bought, I think the first DLC I ever bought was the Necromancer pack in Borderlands 2 to play as Gage. I watched videos on it before, and I was just like, it's just so outrageously awesome. Description. But that, in my opinion, like the additional content that you got playing as a different character and getting all like Gage's power set and her upgrade set and her perks and everything, and oh, you can jump up to the castle from here. That's awesome. I never saw that ramp before. But Gage's abilities and her perks and skills and everything, it justified paying more for DLC for me. Because, again, I'm very critical of being charged extra for more things that, in my opinion, a lot of DLC isn't worth it at all. And it's just like, it's an EA problem where it's just an excuse to squeeze more money out of people, and you're not really giving them what they pay for. But Horizon 3 had fantastic DLC. Ugh! Oh, come on, you'd have flipped over. Flip back up. Horizon 3 had such good DLC. I bought, was it Blizzard Mountain and Horizon Hot Wheels was one of the best DLCs I've ever seen, and it played so well. It was so worth the money. Because not only did you get the extra map and everything, but you got an additional barn find, you got additional cars with it too, and the map itself was just unbelievably cool. I mean, it was like most people who are playing, who like get into cars and things like that, a lot of them, we started with Hot Wheels, we started with model cars and things like that, and so being able to emulate that, and all of the crazy contraptions that we wish we could have built and driven in the cockpit, it was just so cool to emulate that in a video game that had, and a video game that had such good graphics as Horizon 3 did. Horizon 4, I think, kind of let me down in a way, because Horizon 3 was such an improvement and so vastly different compared to Horizon 2. I played all of the Horizon games and every Forza game, every main game, the numbered games, since 3. I bought 7, Forza 7, the day that it dropped, or the day after it dropped, and it ruined early release games for me. I will never buy a game again the day it releases, because I'd always heard stories of like, oh, like wait for the patch. I was just like, no, I really want this game now. I really want to play it now. And I bought it, and it was just so buggy and so terrible. At one point, like at certain points, the car would, I can't see the road. At certain points, the car would spawn in front of the menu, and so you couldn't see what you were even clicking on. It was just ridiculous. And it's small things like that that really affect my opinion of getting games early. Because everyone obviously wants to be the first one on the boat, but I have no qualms about waiting months for the patches to come out for them to produce a better game. Because I don't have to... That was pathetically poor driving on my part. I don't have to be the first one on the boat. I don't have to be the first one to get the game or play it or anything. That's not something that I need to feel satisfied. And so I can wait. And I do, because of that experience with that. I just had experience. Sorry to anyone who thought I was going to actually be playing races or doing races. This is just me hanging out, just chilling. I was going to just chill out with some Forza anyway, and decided to live stream it. So a total of 3 people across just 30 minutes have watched, and they've all left. But that's okay. I do plan on streaming tomorrow, which will be the 23rd, around 3 o'clock, I believe. 3 or 3:30. So when I get off this live stream, I'll probably only go for another 45-ish minutes, maybe an hour longer. I just love playing this game so much. I do like Forza Horizon 3 better. I'm looking for a card. I don't even know what I'm looking for at this moment. I don't drive this one enough. Let's go back to the beach with this. Back to the beach. Hydrating myself the unhealthy way with Diet Coke. Meow. You could do hellacious wheel stands with the Myers-Manx in Forza 7. If you just put drag slicks on it and you just let the suspension stock, and just give it a little bit of engine perks. I can't believe I just called them engine perks. Somebody please revoke my Gearhead license. You realize how terrifying it would be in a buggy to be going like in traffic at 120? And yes, that's miles an hour because I'm a Yankee. Which direction is it? It's east, right? The beach is east. The beach. Ooh, what's this? What is this? Cease and desist. I wanted one of those Chevy Colorados when they first... I wanted one of those Chevy Colorados when they first came out until I realized how many problems they have. They just can't... They're just kind of terrible. GM Electronics is awful these days. It's never been great, but it just in recent years, it's really taken a tumble. Hello, beach. Excuse me. I love how the Horizon games have always kind of had GTA physics when you take flight. Like you can get airborne for ridiculous amounts of time. Oh! That would have ripped all of your wheel studs out. I was trying to be clean through these sections. Ah! At the very least, this makes good highlight reel. All the weird noises that megaFAUCET makes. These sand drags are really cool, that they included that. It's a really neat, it's a really nifty idea. Because it's a motorsport, it's an arm of motorsports that not a lot of people remember exists. Oh yeah, I haven't even come close to completing the story. In heavy quotation marks. Boink. Boink. Where's that jump? Let me try to find it through the windshield on the fly. Wah! That's pretty good. Glad that happened. What the heck? Oh, 1 second. Well, that didn't work. Well, that worked. I like the drift camera, that it automatically looks to the apex. That's really cool. I remember that in Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed, which I had on my old PC, which only had like 6 gigs of RAM, and I played it on the lowest, maybe I had 8, but it had a terrible AMD processor, an abysmal graphics card. I'm not a computer builder. I don't know a lot about computer specifications and all that. All I know is that it did not do well playing games at all. It was an HP Pavilion DV6 that I bought in, I think, 2011 or 12. Oh, how did I not flip? Because it's a video game. Because it's a video game, megaFAUCET, duh. Oh! Oh, it's gonna flip over. Maybe not. It should be so much fun to just like mob around with 200 horsepower in, how much does this thing weigh? At like 1,300 pounds, if that. Wonk. Kind of bugs me that the windshield wipers in this game, especially on some of the 50s cars, they don't cover the windshield at all. They don't even cover the area where the driver is looking. Oh, that was cool. I like how the wipers decided to make themselves known in that moment. I've had some dropped frames here and there, but I don't think, for the most part, I think it's been pretty okay. And that is welcome news. Let's do the flat fender. I like flat fender Jeeps. I'd love to own one, but they're... In Colorado, it's really hard to find a... one that hasn't been either rusted into the ground or beaten into the ground. Nice ghost arm working the wipers there. You can see the shadow of the steering wheel moving, but you can't see the shadow of the arms. I guess you do what you gotta do. You just make do with what you can. Ooh, that didn't sound good. It's so satisfying to just watch the suspension work sometimes. Boink. Ghost Recon Wildlands, if you've played that, the 4x4s in that game, their suspension is like on sponge cakes. It's so bouncy. Like, you thought GTA physics were bad, and I don't know. It just is so goofy in Ghost Recon to watch when you're driving down like a mountain road or something, to watch it just like boing, 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 just bouncing all over the place. And the suspension, it doesn't absorb bumps, it transfers it back, and it just, the whole thing just doing the Cabbage Patch the whole way down the road. They really need to add a CJ8 to the lineup of cars they have available in Forza, because the CJ8, oh, hello, Revolutor, the CJ8, I was just not paying attention to where I was in the power band, I wasn't paying attention to the tack, because the CJ8 was basically just an extended wheelbase CJ, and it looks epic with, like, giant tires on it and everything, but not really lifted, just like the fenders sliced a little bit, just like radiused to accept the bigger tires. So not a whole lot of lift, but just a little bit of trimming and radiusing on the fenders to make the big wheels fit. It's got that long wheelbase, and it just looks so dramatic compared to other Jeeps. It's almost the wheelbase of a four-door JK or JL. Woo! See what I mean? Like GTA graphic or GTA physics, not graphics. Although this game does kind of have GTA graphics in a way. I mean, look at this dude. Look at this dude. I tried to make him look like me. They only had one Asian, I think. Boing. This little old Jeep is a lot of fun to just bounce around on the dunes with. Ooh, that would have. It's always fun to like think about, if you did that in real life, you'd be dead. The car would be in a million pieces. The poor ball joints on these virtual race cars. That was cool. Just drive through those. What do I want to drive? What do I want to drive? I wonder if the frame rate's bad enough on the playback that scrolling through the menu like this is just not a fun time for viewers. I haven't driven this thing hardly at all. I just put a cool military digital camo on it because I thought that looked cool. I don't like G-Wagons. I don't know why. Unpopular opinion, I do not like G-Wagons at all. At least not the new ones. I wish they had a big four-door Land Rover Defender. Where are their Land Rovers? The B and L. I wish they had a big four-door Defender because the extended wheelbase of those makes this look so much. I'm gonna drive this anyway, but it just the four-door looks so much better in my opinion. It's so much more beefy and just ready for adventure. This one just looks a little too lightweight. Like what are you gonna fit in there? You can't fit a whole lot of people or supplies for a long expedition. This thing is clearly just had cosmetic upgrades done to it. Just like most cars in Denver, Colorado. Oh! This is the guy with a Pathfinder that looks badass but has absolutely zero performance upgrades done to it. This engine sounds odd. It's one of those kind of like slurpy sounding, is it a V6 or a V8? What is it in this thing? Let's see. I'll look for a badge. Is this an 8? It has that like slurpy sounding exhaust note. Which like is that disgusting enough for you? I don't know. I put those wheels on it. Those wheels look really good. I've always really liked the cross drilled, the big cross drilled off-road wheels. Another unpopular opinion. Wheels on cars these days are way too freaking big, in my opinion. A 15 or a 16 with a lot of sidewall, perfect. I think it's because I just have a soft spot for 4x4s and classic muscle. Just wheels are so damn big nowadays. They're just so big. It looks ridiculous. They have like no tire, they have no sidewall, it's just rubber bands around them. Not my style, not my taste. But if that's what you like and that's your style, dude, have at it. 17s look good on muscle cars, as long as it's lowered. It gives it a little bit of like a pro touring look, and I can dig that. I do like a good pro touring look. This thing is so slow. Pardon me. Yeah, let's get this one. I don't know if this is a flat 5, flat 6, boxer, or what it is, but it sounds amazing. If you haven't if you haven't been able to tell, I'm not very well versed on European cars. I don't know what this thing has in it, but it just sounds epic. It sounds so good. I wonder if I can make it. Not enough speed. Oh, got him. It's just tame enough that it doesn't like rip your face off with how it sounds, but it's just violent enough that it sounds really good. And the fact that you can go full rally with it is really cool too, and the designs and everything. I wish that the cosmetic things you put on the car in this game had more of an effect on performance. Had more of an effect. More of an effect. I wish that they would affect performance more than they do, to a greater degree than they do. Like choosing to put a spoiler on or not. I wish that showed up. And I do appreciate that they add weight. That when you put on like body kits and things like that it does add weight, because that I think is something that's very missing in a lot of other racing or simulation video games. They don't really simulate the things that would really make it just drive from the fence, or really good simulation. So I do appreciate that they do it. But obviously the Horizon games they never tout themselves to be simulations in the first place, so. Maybe it sounds different on the stream, but in the headphones, this thing sounds really good. I love it. Oh, excuse me. It looks really cool, too. It is 11:30 right now, so I might end the stream right at an hour. Whoop! What card do I want to end with? Something good, something violent, like a Miata. What do I want to end with? I like all of these. Look at this thing. This one's very tail happy. Mostly because the only assist I like is ABS. Thank you. The traction control and the stability control kind of take the fun out of this game a little bit. Hello. Oh, those cherry blossoms? That was cool. Ah! Don't take your eyes off the roads, kids. When I was in, I think, just before I got my license, so I was about 15 years old, one of my buddies was, his neighbor had a car for sale under a tree. So I went over there one day and looked at it on the way home from school, and I just kind of glanced at it when I was walking past, and it was a 71 Chevrolet Nova, and it had rust holes the size of your head, and it ran on 7 cylinders in its poor little 350, and I think it had like a 3-speed automatic or something in it, or maybe it was a 4 on the floor, but the guy said that apparently it wouldn't go into 3rd gear, and the other gears were really clunky, but the design, the body style, it was exactly this color too, but because it had been sitting outside so long, it had like, it was like a matte green. It looked like an army green, like an army forest green, and it looked so cool, and I just saw it there. I was like, I need to own this. Asked my dad, obviously he said no, told me to get a job. That wasn't really the reason why I got a job, but it was a good incentive to get a job. But by the time I had enough money to buy it, someone had bought it, rattle canned it red, went out in the country, and wrapped it around a telephone pole. And that was that. So ever since then, in any racing game I find, I automatically look for the Novas. One day, I hope to put a real one in my garage. Because it's a baby Chevelle. It's the poor man's Chevelle. They're tiny, but they'll still take a big block. I just remember feeling devastated when I learned that it'd been wrecked in the country. This thing does great burnouts. That was 4th gear. Whoops. I just want one so bad. I think that was my, I think that was just the heater activating. Yep, there it goes. It made like a warbling sound that time. I think it was just maybe because I only have one headphone on. I just noticed it really specifically that time. Alright, one more burnout and then we're going to call it quits. That is as good of a place as any to call this one off. So, to the 3 people who actually watched the stream for a couple minutes, thank you. I understand that you left because my microphone wasn't on. I apologize deeply for that. I will remedy that in the future. I promise I'll remember to turn the mic on before I start. And for those of you watching the re-upload on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see all of you next time.